Fine? Fantastic. Having a real good day?
Yeah.
What did you learn today?
We did sheet maps.
English, maths. What else?
Destination reader.
Nice.
Lots and commas.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And afternoon we're gonna do art.
Listen.
We were meant to do subject.
Well, you know what? We're already off to a good start because sometimes when I ask that question, because children like they don't know what they've learned at a day in school. So I'm really happy to hear that your minds are opening.
Yep.
And that you're learning some really interesting things. Okay, so basically to start, does everybody know what we're going to be doing for the project?
We're going to be drawing on the jungle, rowing graffiti style writing.
Is that okay? That's a plan? Yeah? Is everybody with that?
Yeah. We're learning about graffiti.
We're learning about graffiti. So we're learning about graffiti today so that we could paint on the shed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to let you know that I'm going to treat each of you like young adults.
Yeah, we're young adults.
Yeah?
We're very young.
I'm going to treat you like young adults because I know.
Charlie.
Listen. We will all get a chance to speak. Listen. I'm going to treat each of you like young adults because I know within each of you is a brilliant adult waiting to come out. A brilliant adult. Each of you has something special inside of yourselves, and however you choose to develop that through hard work or through education or through your hobbies or the time that you spend, you know that this particular greatness is going to come out of each and every one of you. I already know this. Is anybody here seen the movie Aladdin? Yeah? Wow, look at that. Okay. You seen them? Wow, you seen both of them. So, answer me a question. What happens when Aladdin wants the genie to come out? What does he do?
He shakes the pot.
He shakes it. What does he do? He rubs it. Exactly.
The lamp.
He rubs a lamp. So basically, this is exactly like it is in my culture. What we do is we believe that the same way that Aladdin rubs the lamp for the genie to come out, that if you stimulate the mind of a child, the genius will come out. So what I'm going to do with you today is I'm just going to share with you just some interesting information in order to stimulate your mind, and then the genius comes out. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Stimulate your mind. You can stimulate your mind from reading. You can stimulate your mind by drawing. You can stimulate your mind by playing. You can stimulate your mind by what else? By observing. Yeah? Okay, so we've got this. Now, so today what we're going to be doing, I'm just taking a little bit longer on this intro part because I think it's really important. Today what we're going to do, the actual project that we're going to do today is we're just going to create. Yeah? So we're going to get some markers and we're going to get some paper, and the task will be for each of you to write your name. Yeah? To write your name and to do a cartoon character. Yeah? You could create your own cartoon character. Yeah? Or you could use a cartoon character that you already know, whichever way. But that's going to be the mission today. Yeah? Okay. But first what we're going to do is we're going to learn a little bit about graffiti history. You know, where the art form started and how it developed. And I'm going to share some of my own personal story with you today, just in order to illustrate, you know, how that's happened. How much of you know what graffiti is? Wow. Okay, when you see graffiti, how does it make you feel?
Ooh.
Just
Artsy.
Artsy. What else?
Happy.
Happy.
Expressive.
Perfect.
A bit sad and a bit happy at the same time.
That's a very good. Why do you say sad and happy at the same time?
Because you might feel a bit sad for the person that has to clean it off.
Okay, wow, that's a good point.
Nice one, Leon.
That's a good point. Pardon? Boom it out.
Strange.
Strange. Okay. Why strange? It just does. Okay.
Confident.
Confident. I like that.
It makes you feel amazed.
Nice. I like that.
Bold.
Huh? Bold. Good word.
Epic.
Epic. I like that. Awesome. Wow. Bewildered. Wow. Those are all really. So it.
This is just a random thing. I want to be Banksy when I grow up.
Okay. Wow. Good. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, remember when Banksy. What Banksy did is Banksy took like an old art form that we were doing a while back. We were doing that in New York City, yeah. But what Banksy did is when lots of people forgot about it, Banksy came and just started running these stencils, and people were like, "Wow, it's a new thing." But these are methods that we were using a while back. So
He did a cat.
he did a cat. But what I'm telling you is the key is what stands out with Banksy is his ability to keep creating. Plus, he has a really good imagination. So as long as you have a good imagination, then do your thing, and I'm sure you'll be even greater than Banksy.
Yay!
So, okay. Now, this is very important. Okay. Now, just as there is a language there's a language of sound. You're hearing my voice, correct?
Yeah.
That's the language of sound. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you understand? There's a language of motion and a language of movement. Can somebody tell me a language of movement? Just moving? A language of movement is sign language.
Oh, I got it.
Or dance. Am I right? Theater, things like that. Play. That's a language of motion.
I've got it.
A language of word and letter form. Somebody tell me a language of word and letter form.
I love Doctor Who.
Okay.
Writing.
Writing. I love Doctor Who as well.
Yay!
Don't say that.
Huh?
Don't go there.
Exactly, graffiti. So this, yeah, writing is how we convey messages. Who, what. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is a language. That's a language. Now the language of light is art. Language through pictures is art. And this is also one of the languages. These are the 4 major universal languages. Yeah? So motion, yeah? Motion, sound, writing, and art. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Fantastic. This is a very, very important thing. Okay, now, so let's begin. Do you mind if I turn off the lights in order so it can stand out a little bit more?
I'll do it.
That's even better, thank you. Can I bring this over here?
Do you want me to do it for you?
Yeah, I'll give you a cue.
Give me a cue.
I'll give you a cue.
Snooker.
Okay, cue number 1.
Cue number 1.
Okay, so graffiti history through the eyes of a graffiti artist. History, art, and murals, and inspiration. Okay, next one.
Mr. Beanie.
Yeah.
He can just double tap the board.
And
Is that right?
If you double tap it, we'll try it in a minute. It might not work.
Will it go? Okay, the ancient indigenous roots of graffiti art. So we graffiti artists, many of us graffiti artists, understand that there's a cultural heritage that goes back.
Yeah,
look at that. So these are examples of like ancient civilizations painting art on walls and things of that nature, painting stories, painting history, painting experiences, painting places they traveled, painting things they find interesting, painting medicine. Yeah? So these are examples of ancient graffiti art. Yeah?
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that's from the cruise. That was.
Okay.
Cruise.
It's a film.
I know exactly what it is.
Where the hands, everyone's.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is.
Okay. So, arriving in America and the history of modern graffiti. Now, this is my personal story because I could better tell you a story from my personal experience. Yeah? Now, yeah, this is my family. My family is originally from America. And this is my family. My brothers and I were born here in England. So my youngest brother, Nathan, he was born in Hastings. And the rest of us were born in London, but we lived in Hastings as children. And this is the photograph that was taken when we arrived with my mother in New York City.
Are you from New York then?
I'm American, but I'm also a Briton.
Oh.
I'm a Briton because I'm Briton by birth, but I'm American because of my heritage and my culture.
American.
American.
American. I'm trying to make it
American.
Okay, New York City, good people caught up in the rubble. Now, this is in New York City. In New York City, a while back. In New York City in the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, yeah? This is the way that New York City looked, yeah? New York City was very, very gray. As you can see, there's lots of burnt out buildings, abandoned buildings, empty lots. There was a lot of, there was a lot of underdevelopment. There was a lot of greed. People didn't want to invest into the area, and there was a lack of jobs. So people were living in conditions like this. Like human beings were living in this type of condition. You see what I mean? This is really the way that it was in New York City. Yeah? If you can see in this picture, you can see, look what's taking place in this picture. At the end of the talk, we'll do a question and answer, and you can ask any questions that you want. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could see in this picture, you can see even children playing basketball while a building is burning behind them. Do you see how that's pretty sad. Then one moment. Then there's an old saying, from the ashes a phoenix will rise. So even when things are so bad, there's always the ability of the birth of something greater when creativity is involved in it. So in the rubble, people started to make and create music. They started to make and create art. They didn't want to live just in a situation, in a place where there was no art, where there was no creativity. Because imagine you come out of your house and there's no flowers, there's no trees, there's no life, there's no energy, there's none of the things that lots of us take for granted. So they decided, they had the feeling in their heart, so they decided that this is something that needs to be developed into something more. So they started to learn these different forms of language in order to be able to express a lot of their experiences and the things that they wanted and the things they wanted to see. They started to do lots of parties in the park and music, yeah, to bring the people together, and so the people can have a chance just to kind of unwind, just to relax after working so hard. And from that, hip hop was born. Yeah? Hip hop. Now, the four elements of planet Earth and the four main elements of hip hop. I'm trying to associate everything with you to something that happens specifically on planet Earth, because our culture is very natural in that way. We connect it automatically with things that already exist. In that case, like this is the graffiti that started to come to life out of it. Yeah? Isn't that cool? To take like a wall that had nothing. And now people, when they would walk to the shop, they'd be talking, they'd be so happy. When I arrived in New York, I arrived in this time. And I could not believe my eyes when I would just come out and I would see people breakdancing on the corner, I would see trains passing by with graffiti art all over it. I would hear people MCing and doing poetry. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. But basically, the style, the dress codes changed. People started to get a little bit more funky and stylish. The trains started to get painted because people were tired of seeing the boringness. Yeah? So this is what I saw. Yeah.
What's that say?
It says Dondi, D-O-N-D-I. Yeah?
Is that the same wall? Yeah. Bit. They just redo it. That's
No. These are like many trains were painted. And actually, when they started to clean up the city, as they put it, what they did is they dumped a whole bunch of these old trains. Rather than cleaning them, they dumped them into the Hudson River, which is the main river in New York City. So underneath the water, there's many graffiti trains that still have graffiti on them, which is be really interested in a few years if they don't rot too much. Yeah, so the clothes, the culture, the style, everything. So as I was saying, okay, fire, the element of fire. Yeah, so you have fire, wind, water, and earth. Yeah? Okay. So the element of fire is the element of fire is emceeing. So that's basically the spoken word. And the element of earth is graffiti. Yeah, the element of water is dancing, and the element of air is DJing. Yeah? Okay, people dancing. There was a movement, there was an amazing movement. People loved it. People loved the styles. So this is where graffiti was born from. Okay, so now this is my early graffiti. When I was in New York City, I had a lot of things to say, but sometimes we don't say it on confidence, sometimes we don't say it on this. I mean, by the time I got to England, everybody was like, say that again, can you talk again, can you talk again? Because I was speaking with an English accent. So everybody wanted to hear my voice, and sometimes I used to get a little bit embarrassed and kind of say, you know, I don't really want to be speaking like that all the time, but so I really developed my art. But this is my early graffiti. So I would go out and this was in the train line, and I would just go and I would just put up graffiti. That's the honest truth. This is myself and my friend Bruce, and we did this painting right here, which is one of the iconic paintings in Queens, in Corona, Queens, in Elmhurst, Queens. Yeah, this is another picture of that one. So this is my really old graffiti. I used to like doing rooftops.
How could you get up there?
Oh my! Do you really want me to explain it?
Yeah. And also.
Okay.
Health and safety.
My recommendation is that you don't do it. My recommendation is that you don't do it, but put it like this. There was a lot of climbing and it was very scary. That's all I'm going to say.
It was funny, the kids playing basketball, the burning building man, and it was funny, they weren't even noticing.
Exactly. But we'll get to all the questions. Can we hold your questions?
Guys, shush.
Hold your questions. We'll get to all the questions. Okay. Okay, so this is my personal, so you've seen my older graffiti, then I started to develop my style a little bit more. So then I started to say, wait a second, I could, because part of graffiti is you start with a tag. A lot of people look at a tag and they say, oh, that's really ugly, I don't like it. But they don't understand that a graffiti artist is meant to learn all the 4 elements. So you start with a tag, but you develop your skills gradually. So a stick figure would become a character. Like a letter would become a graffiti letter, if you get what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'd go find abandoned buildings, yeah? And then I'd do...
Oh, that's my favourite. Oh my god, you're so
Thank
good. That's more now.
Yeah? So I travel to different countries and do graffiti art there. And connect with cultures and share my culture.
Are these with spray paint?
These are all with spray paint.
How long did it take you?
It depends, but we'll find out a better gauge of time when we do the one outside. because you'll have a better understanding of it to actually practice it. Yeah? So these ones on the streets of France. This is in Spain. Yeah? 3D, yeah?
What is that? What does that say?
It says Spen. S P E and N. Yeah? Nice 3D style. Different characters, yeah? Thank you. But do you see how you can get different type of chrome and metallic effects and all types of other things? Yeah?
Train door.
It's something like, you know what it is? It's an oven where they cook the paint on cars. So when they airbrush cars and they want to cook the paint, because you need to cook it because it's a specific, like, you know, the same way you put like a loaf of bread into the oven to cook, you do the same with paint. Could you hold that question? Okay. Yeah. So I started learning portraits. Yeah. Bringing life to abandoned buildings.
All of them say Spen.
Oh, my dog. I don't know how she got in there, but look. How'd you get in there, Curls? That's Curls.
Is it a girl?
She's a little girl, yeah.
Aww. Oh, that looks cool. Why did they like that?
This is the old college in Hastings, but we used to go in there because it was a place where we could practice and not be bothered and not bother anybody. So we knew it was being knocked down, so we would go in there, we would paint, and then luckily somebody took this photograph right when they were knocking the building down. So I was like, yes. But that's in London, getting ready to do a wall.
I sort of seen one before. Oh my god.
That's in Leek Street. Like, if you ever get a chance to travel to London and you're sightseeing with your parents, ask them to take you to Leek Street. It's a 24-hour legal graffiti place. Anybody could go and paint, and then you just walk through and you'll see artists there painting. Leek Street, right near Victoria. You'll love it.
I've been there.
It's nice, isn't it? This is painting the wall in Brighton. As you can see, look how small I am. Do you see how small I am? Listen, this building is up. And this is me and my friend Nisa Resin painting together. And this is how the building looked when we were done.
I don't see how that past one could turn into
Huh?
that. I really don't see it. Do people mind you doing that?
They loved it. They were like, thank you very much. Okay, so the next generation. This is only going to be a little bit longer. The next generation was murals. Because then I started to see, wait a second, it's not only things that I want to express, society needs to express too. And I have a skill that society could use me for in order to express a greater story rather than just my own personal experience. So I started to really do murals with other people, more and more. This is the first public mural that I did. This was done in Toronto in Canada. Yeah? And it says, may all who look upon this picture enjoy an unquenchable thirst for learning and love for life. Yeah, thirst for learning and love for life. Yeah?
Oh.
This one was done in Hastings.
Is that a pub?
This is a pub. You may have seen it, exactly. You know where ESK is? Yeah. Yeah. You remember? It was on the news and it was in the newspapers. Yeah.
Is that a play park, isn't it?
That's a play park, exactly. Exactly. Good. Exactly. The what? Yeah, so, we started to see a little bit more stuff. Can you see? Okay. Yeah? Exactly. You know where Marks and Spencer's is?
Yeah, I know that fish places.
Exactly. Fur and feathers.